Good morning. It is week 7 of 8 in our Death Binder series. We see Pedro's better side here. Pedro. Oh, okay. Pedro, say hi. There's Pedro enjoying the morning. Um, so we are really narrowing down on the end of this. Next week will be our last session. And when I look at the table of contents, we have worked our way through lots of things. Even if there are big chunks in here that you haven't gotten to, why don't you pick up with what we're going to do today? It's totally unrelated. It will help you make progress, and that will feel really good. Today, we're going to be working on the technology and the current medical parts of the death binder, and then next week we'll finish it up. So, in our learn part of the class, we'll go through the parts of the death binder that would be good to fill in. So, the first one we have is our computer and phone information. So, this filling this out is good for two reasons. One, it's good for you to have access to, and then while you're alive. And two, it's good, of course, if you pass, for somebody else to have access to. So, for example, with phones, I have there your passcode for your phone. um, if it's an Apple phone, I have your Apple ID, your Apple password. That information is needed in order to get into certain things. And many times through the year, I actually consult the death binder for the Apple password for one of my family members. So that is a very useful thing. I will also say about phones, if you have not yet um, experienced the loss of all of your contacts because your phone broke or something like that, then maybe you're not thinking in this manner. But if you have experienced the loss of all your contacts, that can be really hard. So if you haven't thought about backup, um, I encourage you to think about, backing up your phone. So, like Nick and I use the iCloud, and it backs up our contacts, which I did not have set up when I actually lost con- my contacts a couple years ago. So I learned from that horrible experience. But I have a note there for Nick about iCloud as well, so he would know that information. Now, as far as your computers, maybe you don't want anybody to be able to get into your computer, just sort of recycle it. But I would want my husband to be able to get into my computer. So under the computer section, I'm putting my login and my password. And then for email, I would want him to be able to get into my email and make a choice about what to do, whether it be to forward it to him temporarily or temporarily check it or whatever. He could decide that. I will say I have some junk emails that I don't care about. I'm not even putting them in there, but my main email, his main email, we have in the death binder for each other to be able to access. So you make a choice about, and this is going to be a theme for today. You make a choice about what you want others to have access to if you're not there. And that information get in your binder about phones, computers, and your email. Okay, the next section, family photos. I've heard it was a horrible story about, like, there was a member of the family who took care of all of the photos, had them on this digital site. Um, And no, when that person passed, that person passed unexpectedly. No family member could get access to the photos because they didn't have the password, and I don't know how that issue resolved. Um, but just imagine the photos that you take, that you organize, or that you enjoy. What if other people can't enjoy those photos who you would want to be able to? So there's a couple of different approaches. I'm going to sound really old. in this explanation. But I mean, one approach certainly is to archive your photos somehow online. There are so many services. And if you do that, make sure you say how to have access to your photos, what's the username and password for that website. I am super old school with this. I have a little USB and a external hard drive that I keep in the firebox. In my USB, I regularly put my photos from my phone and camera onto the USB. And then once a year, I upload them all to the external hard drive and I keep that in the firebox. So the external hard drive in our firebox has all our photos. There's no website involved. Um, that's just how I personally choose to do ours, even if it's old school. I like doing it that way. But whatever way you choose, if you have photos that you would want other people to access, please devise a way to take care of that and get that information on this page in the death binder. Okay, social media. This is another one where this is not a required part. I would say this is optional for anyone. Think about the social media that you have, your Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you have. Do you care that that gets shut down? If the answer is yes, you care, then you need to have the username and password information there. So in this death binder, so that a loved one could shut those social media sites down. Also, if keeping up with passwords is an issue for you, you could use this page for that for different social media sites. So if you don't care about the social media sites, if you're not gone, you could just, you could write, I don't care. Um, but if you do care and you're like, yeah, I'd prefer my Facebook to get shut down, then your loved one needs to be able to get into your Facebook easily. And so record that information so it's easy for them. Okay. Now, as far as doctors' current medical information, here again, it's a choice. What is important to you as far as being the most important? What do other people need to know? And what could be useful to you as well? So, people have lots of different doctors, but definitely the primary care doctor, I think would be good to have on this list. If you're parents, for example, with grown adult children, it would be helpful for them to just be able to know who is your primary care doctor. But I think the most important thing here is this current list of medications. So someone needs to be able to, at a glance, see what your medications are. I have, for example, I have my mom's all in a file. And if we ever have to go to a doctor, they always ask what's her medications. I give them a printout. So um doctors need to know what your medicine is, like for whatever doctor you're from head to toe that you're dealing with. And so just having the medicine on a list that you can hand out for yourself or that someone else can hand out for you is very helpful. So if you don't have that together, take this time to get it together. Put a copy of it here in the death binder to keep for your records, and it's something where you will have to be updating once a year, the death binder. That's a good reminder. The death binder doesn't like you're never done. It's sort of always in a state. It's this living document that's always in a state of being updated. For me, I like to be a little bit more regimented. So once a year on our anniversary, I will update the information. It's not like I'm looking at the death binder each evening trying to figure out what to do. Um, but this information about medicines will change. And it's important, I think, to have that documented. So the most important things here, I believe, would be primary care doctor and your medicine list. But if there are other things that you think would be helpful to people who needed to make decisions for you, then it would be good to have that there. Okay. So that was our learn part, figuring out what we need to put in the death binder this week. Let's recap. So, what you're supposed to do this week is you are supposed to one, record information about your computer and phone. And some of that is making decisions. What would be helpful to have written down for me so that I could consult it for the year? And what do I want other people to have access to? And recording that. You might just want them to trash the computer, recycle it without cleaning the hard drive. Like it's your decision, but make that decision. Okay. So, number two, make a plan for your photos. If you don't have a plan for how to archive your photos somehow, then make that plan so that others can enjoy the photos that you have taken. All right. Number three, think about your social media. Again, you might decide, I don't care. That's fine. But if you do care about social media sites being um, taken down, then have that information in your binder. And lastly, we had number four, the medical information. Record your current medical information and a special star by the medication list. Get that done and in the binder to assist those people who need to need to help with any care. All right. As always, deathbinder23@gmail.com. And we await the treat for this week. Okay, this was a lighter lesson so we can handle a heavier treat. Okay, so the treat this week is think about something that makes you very happy, but that takes a little bit of effort. And so you don't often get to experience it. I want you this week to think of one thing that falls in that category and make it happen. You know you'll enjoy it, but it just takes little effort. So let's take the little effort and enjoy it. So for example, tomorrow morning, Sunday, we what I love to watch sunrises and sunsets, but sunrises. Um, but I don't often do it. Sometimes I'm out in the morning, but I'm not often positioned correctly. So anyway, tomorrow morning, I'm going to put in the effort to go to this place. We have this really small mountain by us, and so I'm gonna get up and climb up that, and it sounds more impressive than it is, and watch the sunrise tomorrow. I have to check the weather to make sure that'll be a good day. So there's a little bit of effort that goes into that. Like I gotta drive there, I've got to climb the little mountain, be there on time, but I will enjoy that moment. So that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe for you, something you enjoy is going out to lunch with a certain friend, but you never take the initiative to invite them to lunch. So go ahead and do that. Send the invite and enjoy a lunch with your friend. Or maybe you really enjoy a clean car, but the effort to do that is too much. So you could A, clean your car, or B, make an appointment to have it detailed. Or maybe go to the car wash. The car wash makes me very happy. Um, so there's lots of different things. Maybe something that I love to have my washer and dryer really clean. So washing down the outside of the washer and dryer, like it's a little dirty, that would make me really happy. I'm not going to do that this week, but there's an idea. So think of something that you love that will make you very happy, but takes a little bit of effort. Put that effort in and then enjoy the heck out of the thing. All right. So that was week 7. Next week, we have our finale. And by the beginning of the fall, we have talked about the entire death binder. As we, I'll let you start thinking about this. If there are parts of the death binder that you think don't really belong there, or if there are parts of the death binder that you think are missing, please send me an email and let me know because I want to make this a document that is useful for as many people as possible. Okay, have a great week. Bye-bye.